Coming up on the Merge Out Loud, Chasen is in the Merge Studios with Tower. Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Tower. Welcome to the Merge Out Loud. We're with Chasen.
Hello.
Good to see you. And also Evan from Chasen. By the way, the band is called Chasen and your first name is Chasen, just because that does confuse people.
I know, I'm sorry.
We've got a lot to cover in the show. Let's get right into just really where this came from, because I tell you, I've worked in radio for 9 years now, and I get so many people that come up to me like, you know what, I play guitar at my church, and I kind of like to do something with it, and none of them ever do anything with it. You're the guy that actually went out and did something with it.
Well, I think for me, it was just more of a thing where I couldn't do what I did in the four walls of the church anymore, just because I felt a calling to get outside of the four walls so much. And so I just kept that in mind, and started off as a solo guy and just did camps and did stuff like that, worship gigs, and then eventually it got to a point where I just needed to have a consistent band, and along the way I picked up Evan, Aaron, and Jared as well.
And Edwin McCain, who a lot of people remember from the 90s, is actually one of my more favorite artists. He's the one who kind of helped discover you and get your name out there. Did he come to a show, or?
It's funny, no, he didn't come to the first show. I guess his label guys did, and they found a record that some friends of ours at church gave to the label or whatever, and said, hey, you should check out these guys. And we were playing at this local bar with Need to Breathe, actually, and doing the same set that we do, just telling the same songs, etc. And they loved it. And come to find out, it was one of Edwin McCain's. He helped with the label and build it up. So
is that intimidating at all, that you've got this guy that sold a couple million records in the 90s and kind of shows up and it's like, hey, you who've just been playing church camps, like, I like you a lot.
Well, I don't think it was intimidating. More important, it was like, really? You're interested in me? Like us, I wanted to say us Christian boys, you know what I mean? Because he's like totally opposite, but now come to find out, he's more involved in church and stuff like that. So it was just I don't know, awakening, I guess you could say, like, oh, wow. There really is work to be done here,
I remember the first show he came to, we were doing an acoustic.
Oh, yeah.
And
in the front of a grocery store.
Yeah, and he came like 5 minutes before we were supposed to play, and I was just like,
he's like the biggest grocery store show ever.
It's like, he's the king of acoustic stuff. His acoustic stuff's great. And here we are.
We're doing an acoustic set.
Yeah,
first time we ever made him at the front of the grocery store.
We're Chasen. Chips are 25% off on aisle 17. I want to talk about the video here. We're going to do On and On. Tell me just about this video, because it really has a lot of stuff about Haiti in there.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote the song, it was just more of an anthem. It says, when you're down and out and you look up and there's no, horizon at all. It's just all dark. Who do you rely on? And you go back to the verse of Hebrews 13:5 says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And so when Haiti, the tragedy in Haiti happened, I just felt for that, and I felt for those, not just in Haiti, but in other countries, including America, when tragedy happens, who do we look to, and the ultimate goal is to get everyone on the thought process of that Jesus' love and his mercy and his grace goes on and on forever, and we cannot, disagree with that. But we need to sing out about it, and we need to make it known,
And real quick before we go into the video, just tell me visually kind of where this came from, because it's a great song. It is a really heavy thing to watch.
Yeah. A buddy of ours, Chris Brank, he did the video, and he's new into the whole video stuff, and so he was like, I really want to do some stuff with green screen. I was like, man, I really would love to have, just some shots of Haiti, and some things to make people aware. Not now when it happened, it was like everybody was on board and they're like, oh man, this happened, but 6 months, a year, 2 years from now,
we still need to be talking about
exactly.
This
so when people watch the video, I want it to be almost like make people remember what happened, and still prayers, etc., go out for them,
Chasen video is On and On. It's on the Merge Out Loud. Up next on the Merge Out Loud, we talk to the guys in Chasen about life on the road and the stuff they do that drives their bandmates crazy. It's the Merge Out Loud. I'm Tower with Chasen. Okay, you started as a solo artist. You've had a full band for
About 6.5 years now, yeah.
And you guys are a family on the road. It's like kind of like being in college in a van for a long time when you actually go back to a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so are there rules so you guys don't drive each other crazy?
I wouldn't say there's like specific rules. We just know what pushes buttons, I guess you could say. And a lot of times we push those buttons for fun.
What are your buttons?
I don't know. I don't really. Well, I tell you what. No, I don't know. Like I'm pretty chilled. I'm laid back.
I know
Jared. Now Jared.
I know there's one rule, and our road manager, had a great idea. He brought out a cooler, because we'll spend $1.50 on a drink at every gas station. So he brought out a cooler, and he said there's no perishable items that go in there. So Jared, our bass player, puts like a cheesecake or something in there. And I saw it, and I was like, "Wing." I'm not out the window. I don't litter.
You didn't it didn't hit a Ford Taurus behind you or anything.
No.
Just cheesecake on the windshield would be pretty awful. I know you guys kind of have fun on the road though too. Just like you said, intentionally push each other's buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens?
Well, like last night, let's just say that, or one night on the tour, recently, I'm driving, okay, and in this tour we're in a van, but our van has curtains and stuff and beds and different things like that. So if you're driving, you can't see anybody in the back. Well, I got the music cranked because we're driving through the night, and so all of a sudden I hear this like flat tire sound, and it even sort of feels like something's going on, So I'm like, what is that? It got louder, and finally I pull over. Okay, now we're already early in the morning or whatever. Well, our road manager, he gets out of the van, he goes back there, he's got a flashlight, he's so legit with his little laser pointer and everything, and he's looking at the tires, everything looks great, and I'm like, okay. And I pull the curtain back, and Evan and Aaron are in the bed, and I'm like, Aaron, look at me. He looks up, and he's beat red, smile on his face. He was beating on the window the whole time, and I didn't know it. And so
even when the van slowed down.
Yeah, he slowed down.
And he was doing it for a good 2 or 3 minutes.
It was so awesome. It was awesome. But it didn't really push my button at all because I died out laughing. But it was just. That's more time that we're on the side of the road, but whatever.
Let's go ahead and go into the video here. It's called Crazy Beautiful, and this is the song that just put you on the map. You went from an unknown artist to all of a sudden this just blew up at radio. Tell me just about where this song came from.
Crazy Beautiful was just about a girl that I met at a youth group that my dad was the youth pastor at, and she was this beautiful girl and seemed like she had it all. And but she always wore long sleeves, and one day I got to see she cut herself a good bit because she didn't feel like she was up to Hollywood standards. And the more that it caught me off guard, and I looked at it, and even guys was just feeling like they wasn't the coolest guy in school or whatever, and they didn't play football, they didn't play sports. They were I came in contact with these people, and the beauty of it is that I got the chance to talk with them about, we are made in Christ's image, period. And if you haven't looked, the universe is extraordinary, and if he cares that much about you to make you unique as the way he wants you, you should open your eyes and see how beautiful you really are,
And so you take that song, first song that kind of puts you out there, and what's the video out of that?
The video is just for us just singing about it. That's really what is us just going through our hometown in Greenville. We just had fun making the video, and these guys walked around behind me and sang. That was funny. I remember that part about this video.
And for a music video like this, it's not like a movie where they shut down the downtown. You just sort of walk around and people are shopping.
No, actually, the president showed up that day. I'm totally kidding about that. No. Yeah, it was very chilled. It was late at night, some of it.
Very late at night.
Very late at night, but it was cool, yeah.
With the guys from Chasen. The song is Crazy Beautiful. Check the video out. You are going to see a little bit of a different lineup as the original bass players in this one, who's currently not with the band. It's Crazy Beautiful on the Merge Out Loud. Hey, coming up next on the Merge Out Loud, we talk to the guys in Chasen about the calling that God put on their lives. Merge Out Loud with the guys from Chasen. Now, you started out in the church, like we're talking about at the beginning of the show. I want to just talk to you and kind of dig into how did you know that this is what you're supposed to do with your life? Because especially in the beginning, it's so tough to say, you know what, I got a job, I like what I'm doing, but I can't do this. I've got to go do something else.
I'd say it's definitely still a journey. You know, every day, me and my wife, we check up on things and just to make sure that this is still what God's got us in right now, and it most definitely is. When I read a verse in Scripture, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it said, you know, go and tell the world, you know, about Jesus, and that's what really got me in my headspace, where I was like, okay, I can either stay here in front of 3,500 people in a congregation and be content and play music, write music, whatever, or I can actually do what God has called us to do and go outside these four walls and tell people about who He is, His love, and how much He just wants a relationship with them, you know? And so I think that's every day I remind myself of that. It's not about me, it's about Him and His kingdom. And the moment that it becomes about us is the moment that we shut her down. I mean, there's no reason for us to do this, you know? I love making music, that's great, but I don't love music enough to leave my 2-year-old son for 5 weeks and go on a West Coast tour, you know, or my wife to go out on a tour. I love Jesus and I love what He's called us to do. It's an amazing ride, and I think all of us would agree that, you know, it's something that we are called to do. It's something our wives are called to do. But would I say that it's easy, and do I have it all figured out? Absolutely not. It's still a journey.
I want you to be able to, both of you, to speak into this, because I'm sure you came up against it. I came up against it when I was a teenager. I told people what I was planning on doing after high school, and that, you know, I want to go into media and I want to work in music, and everybody at church was like, you sure? Like, maybe you want to be an accountant just in case. It's like, no, this is the only thing I've ever loved. And, you know, I mean, thank God I've been doing this as a career since I was 19 years old. But, like, when you guys look at what God called you into, what do you say to kids like that maybe have a different calling on their lives other than just college and white-collar office worker?
You always talk about the dream that you've had.
Well, I mean, first off, my mother-in-law is a guidance counselor at a school. And I'm like, why didn't guidance counselors ever tell us that we could go play music? But, I mean, I've been playing guitar since I was 12 years old, and, you know, it's just something, you know, I went through sports. I played football, baseball, basketball, but as soon as I picked up a guitar, I just had that connection with it, you know, and I just knew that, you know, when I played in a band before Chasen, and I was like, you know, I'm always going to play in a band. I'm not going to rely on it as my main source of income. If it happens, it happens, you know, and so when Chasen was starting out touring, you know, I hired as a guitar player, and you know, and so it's definitely a dream. I love it. It's not as glamorous as everybody makes it out to be. It's hard, you know. I got married in December of you know, last year, so I mean, it's
a sacrifice.
Yeah, it is. It's not as, you know, before I was married, it was easy. You know, I could just go out and do it. But now that I'm married, it's like, wow, you know, there's a lot of sacrifice in this.
I want to get in the video. It's called Castaway. It came out of a devotion in your life, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Devotion that my dad, he spoke to my family in a cabin in the mountains one Christmas. And it's just about the Jonah and the whale, of how, you know, we all are castaways. It was very relevant to me, how my dad put it.
And just for our viewers in the northern states, Jonah didn't fall down a well. He actually was swallowed by a whale, but they're from South Carolina.
A whale. I can't.
It's all the same.
Yeah, it is.
And you shot it on the beach, right? Just
Yeah, right. Yeah, when we shot the video, it was we wanted just to put the beach scenes in there to sort of portray that's what that is about. It even says at the front of the beginning it's based off of the book of Jonah. And so yeah, it's just, we can't do it on our own. Even God gives us a second chance, but we can't do it on our own.
With the guys from Chasen right now, the video is Castaway on the Merge Out Loud. Hey, coming up on the Merge Out Loud, we meet Aaron, the drummer in Chasen. Merge Out Loud with the guys from Chasen. By the way, officially meet Aaron, the drummer of the band.
Hello. How are you? Hey, Aaron.
And pretty cool. You guys are actually coming up on album number 3 right now.
Yep.
Tell me just where do songs come from just in your lives and as a band? Is this something where it's like, okay, we got to write some new songs now, or is it more of a driving along the van and like, man, I've just kind of got something in my head that's going to become a song?
Well, to be honest, this process we thought was like, man, that's quick. Like we're already recording again, you know. But it's supposed to be out next year, and the songs are just songs that I guess what we're going through, like we go back to the prodigal son. That's really where my head is at right now. And to answer your question, it's yes, it is songs that, especially on so far that I've been writing, is just if we're on a bus or a van or whatever, I just start writing, whether there's melodies or not, you know. And a lot of times I write, I guess, poems or just words, you know. And then what's funny is I've been writing, I guess the older I get, and you know, I have a little boy now, and Aaron has a little boy. We're all married, so it's like the older we get, we start writing, I guess, more mature stuff, you know, and I'm start writing more about marriage and different things like that. But it all relates to this mission that we're on. We're still on a road, and I still feel like we all are sort of like the prodigal son, you know, where we see home, and that's our final destination, but we got to get there, you know. We can make it if we just really keep our eyes focused, you know.
Tell me about who made you want to play music. I mean, the albums you heard when you first picked up a guitar, and like, do you still feel like those artists are a part of your life, and when you write songs, you still kind of see those influences come through?
See, I love music so much. I really honestly have so many influences, but you know, for the most part, yeah, I think when I write songs, I do think of certain people that have inspired me, but I know you've been inspired a lot too by other.
Well, I was a guitar player, so I grew up listening to all kind of rock music and stuff. And what's funny is I used to love the band Disciple. Well, I still do. Like, I just followed them. I've seen them. I remember seeing them at Halloween. They dressed up like Star Wars and stuff. It was really crazy. But, you know, I got the chance to meet those guys. I mean, we've all been on tour with them. We're good friends with them now. So just kind of weird, because when you're a kid, you're 12 or 13 years old, and you're seeing these bands, you're just like, you know, you're starstruck. But when you meet them, they're just regular people, you know. So, I mean, like, I just grew up listening to, you know, the rock, you know, listening to, you know, playing guitar and stuff, so.
And so we'd love to have you guys back on the show eventually after this next record comes out. You know, you drop by the studios again in a year, so what is it that you hope happens by then, or what are your dreams for the band right now?
What's funny, we've been asked that question a good bit here recently, and I think I stayed true to what I say. We just want to be a part of a movement. You know, we really want to see God use us in mighty ways, but not for our glory. And I know that almost sounds cliche, but it's the honest truth, is that if we can be a part of a movement that grows the kingdom of God, we're satisfied. You know, that's what we're built to do. So,
Chasen, so good to have you guys on. I've been a fan really since the band started, so it's cool to sit down. Latest album is called That Was Then, This Is Now, and you guys are working on your third project in the next few months. Hey, thanks so much for watching the Merge Out Loud. We'll see you next time.